Hello and welcome to another interesting episode of Reveal. You already know the real deal, but if you're joining me for the first time, Reveal is the show that brings people and things to the limelight. We bring past events to the present by acknowledging achievements of former heroes. We look into different food, lifestyle, and different cultures across the African continent and beyond. Sport and health and fitness and also trending issues all will be part of the show today. You can also follow me on IG at Madam Ace SL for your regular updates on the show. I might as well ask your questions, and you can also subscribe and like my YouTube channel at Acewara. Don't go anywhere because I'll be right back. Welcome back. Into this episode of Reveal the Real Deal, we'll get to know about the beautiful black skin with blonde hair from the Solomon Island, the Melanesians. And in health and fitness, we'll be looking at the first step in building self-esteem, where self-esteem comes from and what is self-esteem. In food, I'll be taking you through the haunts of Africa's staple food, Injera. Now, who are the Melanesians? Who do we refer to as the Melanesians? Have you ever heard of the word Melanesians before? Now, these are the predominant inhabitants of Melanesia in a wide area of New Guinea to as far east as the islands of Vanuatu and Fiji. Most speak either one of many languages of the Austronesian language family, especially one in the Oceanic Bridge or one from many unrelated family of the Papuan languages. Other languages are the several creoles of the region, such as the Tok Pidgin, the Haring Mutu, the Solomon Highland Pidgin, Bislama, and the Papuan Mali. The original inhabitants of the group of islands now named Melanesians were likely the ancestors of the present-day Papuan people, migrating from Southeast Asia that appear to have occupied these islands as far east as the main islands in the Solomon Islands. For several years, blonde hair has been attributed to the Caucasians, but the Melanesians of the Solomon Islands are one of the few groups with blonde hair outside Europe. Like, really, is that possible, or how is that even possible? Now, the Melanesians are black island people in the South Pacific that migrated over thousands of years ago, long before the blacks that came to the Americas as slaves. Now, there has been a sort of rhetorical question with these black, beautiful skin with blonde hair people. The question is, are they Africans? Now, the name Melanesian was first used by Jules de Monderevel in the 1832 to denote an ethnic and geographical grouping of island distinct from Polynesian and Micronesian. Until recently, the indigenous Melanesian people practiced cannibalism, headhunting, kidnapping, and slavery. Just like the Asmat tribe, but with contact with the Europeans, the population is now predominantly Christian. However, more than 90% led rural lives. Melanesian people of the Solomon Islands are the point of interest when it comes to dark skin and blonde hair. The Solomon Islands are located in the South Pacific, the very heart of Melanesia, just northeast of the Australian between Papua and Vanuatu, is an independent state with the British Commonwealth. Although the indigenous Melanesian population of the island possesses the darkest skin outside of Africa, between 5 and 10% have bright blonde hairs. There have been several theories on how they got their blonde hair. From the sun, is it from the salt whitening or high fish intake, or genetic heritage from mixed breeding with Americans, Europeans who founded this island?
That's so cool.
I've never seen hair like that before.
If you go 2,000 kilometers north of Brisbane and 1,500 kilometers east of Papua New Guinea, you'll come across a beautiful chain of 1,000 islands called
The Solomon Islands!
I'm here in my 154th country and the start of my 3-week trip around the Pacific Islands. Everybody knows that this part of the world has beautiful beaches and swaying coconut trees, so I'm not going to bore you with that content over the coming weeks. What you can expect to see is the unique culture and local life that exists on each island, which I'm very eager to explore. We're here at the Central Market, or the main market in Honiara. What I find most unique about the Solomon Islands so far is that some of the locals have this amazing blonde hair. At first, I thought it was fake or dyed, but then I realized that it's 100% natural.
Go, Thunder, go!
It's natural. All of you have natural hair? When I think of blonde hair, I think of Sweden or Russia or the US or Australia, basically all countries with native white people. But in the Solomon Islands, people here are of Melanesian descent and mostly have darker skin.
A geneticist medical doctor from Nova Scotia Agricultural College in Canada, Sean Miles, conducted a genetics analysis on saliva and hair samples from 1209 Melanesian Solomon Island residents, from comparing 43 blonde islanders and 42 brown islanders. He found that the blondes carried 2 copies of the mutant genes, which is present in the 46% of the island's population. And now the Melanesians people have a native type 1 gene, which is partly responsible for the blonde hair and the melanine, and is totally distinct of that of the Caucasians, as it doesn't exist in their genes. It is a recessive gene and is more common in children than in the adults, with white hair tending to darken as the individual matures. Now, this contributes to the theories that black Africans were actually the first Homo sapiens, and that all the races came out of the black African race. Now, if you didn't know who the Melanesians of the Solomon Islands were, it has been revealed. You're still watching the show here on Star TV, and it's Reveal the Real Deal. Moving on to health and fitness. With Reveal the Real Deal, when it comes to health and fitness, it's not specifically related to the physical aspect. Your mental health is also important, and I will be touching such issues from time to time, being the motivational speaker that I am, and passionate about the mental health issues. So into this episode, I'll reveal the first step in building your self-esteem, meaning I'll touch on where it comes from and what actually is self-esteem. Now, our self-esteem develops and evolves throughout our lives as we build an image of ourselves throughout our experiences with different people and activities. Experiences during childhood plays a particularly large role in shaping of our basic self-esteem. This could have been done in many ways. Probably one of the most important is being praised for an accomplishment. Now, children who are taught to respectfully and listen to also contributed to a healthy self-esteem in adulthood. Now, these children were hugged often and given attention and experienced some type of success in school or sporting activities. On the other side, we have to identify the childhood for those adults who have poor self-esteem. Now, these were the children who were often criticized harshly, were yelled at, were beaten, and were given a little attention by those who were close to them. Now, they are ridiculed and even teased as they experience failures in their young lives, and they were made to feel like they had to be perfect in order to be valued, and associated failure in situation as failure of their whole lives. It is sad, isn't it? Now, these are the types of children that were made to feel that they had to be perfect in order to be valued, and associated failures in situation as failures of their whole selves. It is sad, isn't it, to see children treated that way. What's even sadder is the effect that the treatment has on their lives as an adult. We are shaped and molded by our experiences. Do you recognize yourself? How we feel about ourselves can influence how we live our lives. People who feel the way like they are likable, lovable, in other words, they are people with good self-esteem. They have better relationship with others. They are likely to ask for help and support from friends and family when they need it. People who believe they can accomplish goals and solve problems are most likely to do well in school. Now, having a good self-esteem allows you to accept yourself and live life to the fullest. Self-esteem plays a role in almost everything we do. People with high self-esteem do better in school and find it easier to make friends. They tend to have a better relationship with peers and adults. They feel happier, find it easy to deal with mistakes, disappointments, failures, and many more, likely to stick with something until they succeed. You see, it takes some work, but it's also a skill you have in life. Now, this episode will have to deal with the question I feel compelled to address is, what exactly is self-esteem? Okay, now some people think self-esteem means confidence. And yeah, it comes into play, but it's rather more than that. The fact that there are a number of apparently confident people out there who can do marvelous things, but who have low self-esteem, fall into this category. They shine out there, but yet many of them feel desperately insecure. Indeed, many individuals can be stunningly attractive and world famous and seem poised and perfect, yet deep down they find it hard to value themselves. Thinking of the Princess of Wales and Marilyn Monroe, you all accept that. I think that the public adulation is no guarantee for a self-belief. So, self-esteem is no guarantee of self-belief. Well, the word self-esteem comes from the Latin word which means to estimate. So self-esteem is how you estimate yourself. To do that, you need to ask yourself certain questions. Do I like myself? Do I think I'm a good human being? Am I someone deserving of love? Do I deserve happiness? Do I really feel both in my mind and deep in my gut that I am an okay person? So now, the concept of self-esteem can be summed up as the confidence in our ability to cope with the basic challenges of life, and the confidence in our right to be successfully happy, the feeling of being worthy, deserving, entitled to accept our needs and wants, to achieve our values and enjoy the fruit of our efforts. We will continue with the question, do I have a low self-esteem, in another episode of Reveal the Real Deal. So if you're confusing self-esteem to that of confidence, or maybe you thought self-esteem is confidence, or maybe you didn't know what self-esteem is, it has been revealed. If you're just joining me, I am Warabai Kamara, and this is Reveal the Real Deal, coming to you on Star Television on Channel 21. Now, let's move on to the next segment of the show, and it's food, food, food. Take me to Ethiopia because I want to eat. And what's on our Reveal's plate for today? It's Injera. the cooking method for the injera has changed a little since its origin. Traditionally, the flour is mixed with water and fermented for a short period of time. It is then baked by pouring the mixture onto the giant circular griddle known as a mitad. And that's all in today's episode of Reveal the Real Deal, coming to you on Star Television Channel 21. I'm your girl, Wara by Camera, and you can follow our social media handle on Instagram at Madam Ace SL. You can send in your comments, you can ask your question, and for your regular updates on the show, you can add me or follow me on Facebook at Wara by Camera, and also our YouTube channel, Madam Ace Wara. You can subscribe, like, and share our videos, and also you can send in your comments. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.